Hey everybody, I am in the garden today. I'm working on a front part of my garden. Our fountain actually broke again. We go through a pump at least every year and have to do some maintenance on our fountains. Today's problem was I found a pump and the cord would not fit through the actual hole in the fountain. So I had to reorder a different pump with a smaller cord head, the plug. So if you're doing anything like that with your fountains, make sure that you're kind of aware that they do come in different sizes, which is weird to me. Also, I'm going to be showing you some beautiful plants that I picked out, and I'm going to be mulching the garden, so I just wanted to take you along with me. So here's the fountain that I'm working on right now, and the dogs are in the window. So cute. Okay, so I bought a few plants. This one is really neat. Dusty Millers do really well here. So this is a feather. Let's see, it's called a silver feather Dusty Miller. And I guess you can see why it's called a silver feather, but I really think it's gonna be beautiful here. And I wanted something to put in front of my fountain. And I also think that it ties in really well with some of the Silver Falls silver ponyfoot. So also I grabbed, because you can't just leave it one, I got some of this. This is a Calliophis, and it is very much a perennial here. I have some that I planted last year and is popping right back up, and I believe this is a native here to Texas. So that will kind of tie in all of my planters, which I have some chartreuse and yellows and a little bit of silver. I think that's going to be really pretty in this garden. And I reordered my pump, so we went ahead and we found another stone in the yard yesterday. Now this thing, it might be small, but good lord, it is heavy. So we put another stone underneath to give it some height, and I think it made a huge difference in just its appearance. It gives it a little bit more, just a little bit more front and center. There's my doggies. They need to know everything that's going on. We're walking up to the front garden. I've been working on this garden, which I consider very much a butterfly garden, and I try to put as many natives as I can. We just had a really bad windstorm, and so there's tons more oak tree leaves, and it's just constant battle. We have so many oaks here in Central Texas and Austin especially. But I did get to pick up some of these butterfly guaras here. They're just beautiful. I don't know if you can see that, but their little flowers do look like butterflies. And this one's got some pink and white, and I think they're going through a little smidge of shock right now. We're supposed to get some really good rain this week, and I'm hoping that kind of sets everything in. All of my Artemisia here and here is all coming back from last year, and I'm kind of seeing how this guy's gonna do. This is a cedar sage. It looks really happy. It was a little weak at the beginning, and I think that little bit of rain we had just kind of helped set it in. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and probably fill this whole area out with cedar sage. Kind of fill that in. I'm doing a little bit more like mass plantings, and that way it gives it a little bit more, just a little bit more vibrancy in one particular area. So this is Greg's Mistflower. That's also coming back from last year. It was not that big, so it's definitely spreading out. And we have some Blackfoot Daisy here. I think I'm gonna do a little, that's from last year, and I'm thinking about just doing another little spray here. I think that would be really pretty, a little bit of repetition. So I found this plant today. It's a Cinderella milkweed. And look what I got there. I got a little ladybug. Oop, she's hiding. So I'm gonna plant that there and see how that does, and probably make that a little bit more like native milkweeds in that area. I think that'll be really pretty. Picked up this little guy. This is an American Beautyberry, and it was on the clearance rack for like $3, and it hasn't skipped a beat. I put it in the ground and it's happy as can be. These are some black and blue salvia. Those are all coming back from last year. So I'm super happy about that. So just to add a little bit of color up here, I planted these plumbago and they are quite happy. I do want to add some more yellow. I feel like I'm going a little overboard with the blue. So I saw some Esperanza, also known as Texas Yellow Bells, and I think I'm gonna probably put some in this little areas in the back. And they get a little bit bigger, so I think it'll be really pretty. So this little garden, I planted in some rock rose like 2 years ago, and as it goes to seed, I just spread the seeds out, and some of them have actually taken. This one in particular is actually a seeded one. It's actually doing better than all of them, but you can see it just puts out these sweet little yellow blooms, and it's called the rock rose, and it is growing in the rock. This one's also a seed. I feel like the seeded ones are actually doing better than the ones that I planted. Here's some more. It's a native plant, and then it's a really good plant. It comes back. It's actually evergreen. And here's some more of that red yucca. That will send out some really tall red spikes, and the hummingbirds love it. I have a bunch of cactuses that I just propagated from paddles that have fallen off. I just stick them in the rock and they just take off. This one's actually putting out a ton of new growth. Look at that. It's so cute. They look like little hairy faces or something. It's really sweet, and it does really well under these conditions. I mean, you figure it's planted under a tree in a root system with rock. I mean, not a lot of things would survive that, but the cactuses do, and silver sage salvia over here does really well also. Alright guys, so I went ahead and planted the feather Dusty Miller here, and I also planted these two yellow primrose. I had some extra pieces of wood that I thought would be really pretty and a rock, and I used that to kind of prop it up. I still have a little bit of Artemisia over here peeking out under the fountains. I'm really hoping that that's gonna take and kind of fill out that space. I also have some of this guy, the purple, I forgot the name of it. There's a lot of names of it, but I won't repeat those. Okay, so I have a little bit of purple heart here. And that comes back every year, and I really don't want to go out and buy it, because if you've ever had purple heart, you know how easily it is to propagate. So I'm going to find some pieces around the neighborhood and ask a neighbor for a couple of pieces and go ahead and probably pop those around here, because I think the purple would be so pretty in contrast with the silvers and the yellow, and give me a little bit of ground cover and try to get some of this filled in a little bit more. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and mulch this in and show you the difference, because it's night and day. Once you put mulch in, it just changes everything, and I know it's really satisfying for a lot of people, not just myself, but I know it's very satisfying after you mulch and you see how nice it could look. And then it'll kind of give me maybe some ideas of if I want to plant anything, or just leave those open spaces and let things fill out. But I'm really happy with the way that it's turned out so far. I especially love my planters. I'm really fond of planters. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this all planted up and mulched and watered in. All right.